So, does anyone care to touch on this further?
Zero levelers are putting so much pain on the house, so much pain on the house staff and just the other students in the house, that a way to kind of show them the amount of pain they're putting on everybody else is to put a little bit of that type of pain on them. They have to get a time in to use the bathroom. They have a certain length of time that they can go. They don't have many special privileges. They do not get any free time whatsoever, so they must be working the entire time. Generally, to get on third or fourth level, you have given in to the ministry and the expectations that we hold students accountable to.
I came here.
My name is Jerry. I left MAGA, and I'm bringing you a special treat today. This is my partner, Amy.
Hi.
You've heard me talk about her. You've heard me talk about her play that piano that's sitting over there. She's an amazing woman. But anyway, what we're here for today is we're going to take a look at this movie, this documentary. It's called Kidnapped for Christ. Where is David? Kidnapped for Christ. And the reason I'm wanting to do this is specifically in reference to this conversation going on about conversion therapy. And this young man was kidnapped for the purpose of conversion therapy. So I just want to bring this aspect into the conversation. So as we proceed through this, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to speak up, tap me on the arm or something. We can pause.
Okay.
And folks, the documentary is an hour and a half long. So there is a chance you'll see some edits because we might need to take a break in that period of time. Just saying. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this and see what we got going here from Gravitas Documentaries.
David was a spark. He was talented. He was just a good person and somebody that we all felt a connection to. We couldn't understand why someone like this had been taken away from us.
It was so strange and surreal that it was like one minute he was there at all these parties, and then the next thing I knew, I'm waking up and my best friend's gone.
We began to become suspicious because it just didn't seem consistent with how David had interacted with people. He would always share what he was up to. He was very excited about what he was doing.
Once he disappeared, there was everything from he was visiting family across the country, he was doing Hurricane Katrina aid relief.
It was kind of a shock because we weren't sure where he was, what he was doing, why he wasn't returning any of our calls. And when it came around to school beginning and he wasn't there, that's when we kind of realized that something might not be right.
One morning I woke up, 2 guys were at my house.
They were woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning with escorts telling them, they had 5 minutes to leave.
And they were just like, "Hi, Ty, you need to wake up and put clothes on. You're going to a school in the Dominican Republic." And I was like, "I don't think so."
Both my parents were standing there, saying, "We love you, David, we love you." I was like, well, what's going on?
And I was like, that's not gonna happen. How could that happen to me? I'm staying here.
And they're like, "No, you have no choice. You can do this the easy way or the hard way."
They tied a belt around my waist, dragged me with a belt to their car.
We left on Tuesday morning and left the house about 8 o'clock, got here about 11 at night.
We went through the airport, they dragging me with a belt the entire time, flew down to Miami, and then I finally figured out where we were going.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I had broken out of the bedroom, which was not a very good way to start my stay here.
All I can do now is trust God. Like, just put all my trust in Him. Something's gonna happen. That something, maybe somebody will come for me down here, or that I'll get through and learn what He wants me to learn.
That opening's pretty heavy.
Yeah. That's me, Kate Logan. Growing up, I was sort of the rebel of my family. As a teenager, I was the only evangelical Christian in a house full of liberals. After high school, I attended a Christian college to study film, and I did mission work wherever I could, until I found myself in the Dominican Republic, where I learned of a small Christian boarding school that claimed to rehabilitate troubled teens from the United States and bring them to know Christ. So I set out to document the positive effects a school like this could have on the lives of those that seemed to need it most. I never expected that I would become part of this story. So I just got here to Escuela Caribe. I honestly don't know what to expect. I'm excited. Everyone seems really friendly, and I guess in a way I'm just hoping for the best. I mean, I guess I just gotta have a heart to really seek the truth and really not be afraid of finding it. You know, I just pray that my instincts will align with God's, and that I will be able to find the truth, and that I'll just have the courage to find it. And I'll have the open-mindedness to really listen and understand people here.
Jesus is calling each one of us here this morning to follow. We here at Escuela Caribe, we here at New Horizons Youth Ministry will set out a structure and discipline that will help you understand how to live your life, how to restructure and rediscipline this life that is in disarray. But greater than that, each of us sitting here this morning in this congregation can praise God that He has set it out and shown us the way.
So what is Escuela Caribe?
When I have an opportunity to describe Escuela Caribe, I tell them it's a Christian therapeutic residential boarding facility. Now that's a long term for a place where kids that have just been in trouble can come and get their lives straightened out.
My name is Beth, and I have been here for about 4 months. First name is Ty. I'm 16, and I've been here for a year, a month, and like 17 days.
My name is David, and I've been here for, it'll be 6 weeks on Tuesday. Today is Sunday. My guess is if my parents have it their way, I'll be going home in May or June.
We can take a child just so far, but there's a spiritual aspect that God has to take over, and it's those people that are not Christian will not understand what I'm saying, but those that do know that a spiritual transformation takes place when you do accept Christ. And what you never thought was possible in your life becomes possible.
Tell me more about the founder, Gordon Blossom.
Pastor Gordon Blossom.
Sounds good.
So far, you have no objections. It sounds good.
Sounds good.
So
like
far,
a place where troubled teens can go and get religious help. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like,
but,
I'm not against any of those things yet.
But also take into account that a lot of these kids have mental issues that need professional help.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's going to play into some work I've got lined up for the future, but.
Yeah, I know it's going to go south,
Yeah,
but
right.
you know, so far I'm saying
So far it
sounds good.
Yeah, on the surface it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And if you're in a system that trusts that system, you're sure. But yeah, you're right. There wouldn't be a documentary about it if it didn't go south.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's how our society is. There's just not enough. There's just not enough documentaries with positive outcomes.
Yeah, nobody's done a documentary on Merrim summer camps where I went for church camp, and they were absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, it's the squeaky wheel gets the attention.
Right.
You know, when you have an entire community that's doing good work, they're not going to get noticed except for, you know, maybe in modern times. But anyway, this gal here kind of reminds me of that church camp leader from Jesus Camp. Similar build, similar haircut, similar presentation, you know. So makes you go, Is there a pattern here?
Well, she looks like a lot of church people that I've met.
Some of them have been kinder than others, I'm sure.
Yes.
Anyway, shall we go back to this?
Yes, please.
Was a juvenile delinquent. Pastor himself was spent a time as a student, as a teenager, in Star Commonwealth, which is a home for boys, residential treatment. And he really felt called to have a place in a foreign third world culture. He believed that was an aspect of the therapy, and it really is. It's called culture shock therapy. Taking a kid outside of the environment that they feel secure in and putting them into another environment where the language is different, the food is different, the whole place is different, is an aspect of the therapy that he felt was very significant.
That also lets you get away with things.
Right, and I'm wondering how far that problematic ideology has leaked into other arenas. You know, that culture shock treatment. Oh, well, we're going to drop them someplace where they've never had any experience.
Yeah,
that'll teach them.
I don't think that's a thing.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that's a valid thing.
No, not a valid thing. No, I'll agree with you on that. But I'm thinking of Borrego Garcia. You know, after they got him back to the United States, and they were they were talking about shipping him off to Liberia or something. You know, drop him off in Africa. And I'm like, just leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You take a kid out of their normal environment and you do get control. You do get opportunity to work them in a different way because they give that to you because of their uneasiness, their unrestfulness. So there's a variety of things that work with that.
Usually by the time a parent gets to this point in their lives, it's got to be pretty bad at home. It's got to be pretty intense. And so by the time they're getting to the point where they feel they need to send their child away for 18 to 24 months, they're usually ready to go at that time.
Okay, so I having been seen as a strong-willed child through the doctrines of James Dobson, what guidelines are they using to establish this precedent?
Exactly.
You know, I think we're going to find out that
probably the parents have some money.
Well, I mean, yearly tuition up to $72,000.
Yeah. So it's going to be parents with money.
Yes.
I got sent here for a couple different reasons. I tend to tell myself that I'm just here for school, except I'm not. I started having panic attacks in October of 2005, and it got to be where I'd have like 3 a day, end up in the hospital for whatever reason, and because of that I got really frustrated with my school, because it would get to be where I couldn't be in the class for the whole entire period, or like I'd have to leave because I'd get stressed out, or I might have a panic attack, and it was really crazy. And like a couple times I would just like leave the school, and they had to call the police to bring me back, and I also tried to kill myself.
When I was like 10, I was raped, and when I was like 11, my mom married without telling me or my brother. I kind of started to not trust my family very much and just separate myself from them a lot and just find ways to let out my anger, like lying and stealing and drugs and a lot of drugs and stuff like that, and just guys.
Basically, I got sent down here because my parents and I didn't get along at all. I am gay, and my parents, they just weren't okay with that. They weren't willing to accept that fact. My mom said something along the lines of, I could never love a gay son. And they were just basically finding any way possible to, you know, fix the problem, change it. And I was just always felt like I was rejected because I've always felt like it was a part of me.
I was surprised.
Yeah, deny self for the greater body.
Yeah.
Anyway.
To find out why these kids had been sent here. They certainly weren't the hardened criminals that I had expected.
I fear the chaos that was my former life, and it's still there. I'm just not in it. Life continued while I was here. I did push-ups while the boys drank beer. I dealt with my issues. They dealt drugs. I grew as a person. They grew weed in their closet. I created a new life for myself while they created a new life that's due in September. I changed for the better while they changed their parents' worst fears into reality. And they invested their lives when they bought it. They bought into the sex, they bought into the drugs, they bought into the cash, and the fraudulent love. And it's amazing I'm not there myself. I'm going home, and it might be chaotic. I'm leaving a place that's almost robotic and entering a nonsense world. But I have confidence in the face of the nonsense. I have faith to fight the fear. But still I ask, pray for me when I leave here. I'm going home, and it might be chaotic. With some help, I'll succeed.
Wow.
That was good. That was so good. Well, it was like 8 minutes when I said mine now. Build relationships, do all that stuff. Get cool with your parents. That's what I'm here for, right? Yep.
Thanks again for doing this for me.
It sucks being here.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you, Lord, for today, Lord, and just watch over their thoughts, their words, and their actions, God. And I just ask that you bless this food to our bodies as well as the hands we prayed it. In your name we pray. Amen.
May I be seated?
Yeah.
Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world.
Conform with us.
Right.
Not
like,
the world.
Like you said, that's disturbing. Very culty.
Yeah.
Very culty.
I am on a self-harm support, and so I have to eat with a spoon. And at Star House, I couldn't be in the mudroom by myself because there were chemicals, and I can't be in the kitchen either. So I've been on it before, but I'm working to be off of it and stuff. So like when I offer to get people's dishes, if they have a fork, I can't pick it up. I have to ask someone else if they would be willing to take it off the plate for me.
If you feel like you can't help yourself, then we'll help you by taking away the things that could potentially harm you. And that's pretty much what the self-harm support is all about. It still doesn't prevent them from hurting themselves because there's shoelaces, belts, all still in there from every other girl, but yeah.
Yeah. May I step in the bedroom?
Yeah.
She's hot. Matt stepped it up and he really got us together, and now he's gone, and I guess it's my turn. But it's gonna be hard. I'm the newest one here, so it's difficult, but it's gonna feel like we've had a major loss for a while.
Morning routine. You wake up,
You get your supplies, you do your room job, which consists of making your bed, sweeping the floor that you're assigned to, and doing your PA, which is your personal area, where where you keep all your clothes and stuff like that, and making sure everything's inspection ready.
This collar has to be the length of half your pillowcase, like that wide, and then from here to there, that wide. All the corners have to be made with a 45-degree angle. And we can't have anything in our backpacks either.
I've been looking forward to chucking this bed all week. Really? No. Oh, it's on.
All right.
It's the first time in what, 2 months?
But they should be even. Like the hangers should be like evenly spaced. And like all the buttons should be done up.
So what have you been using as soap?
The bar soap.
Buttons on down.
Another one I missed.
Looks pretty good, Dave.
Good for tennis shoes or boots or anything. The shoelaces, they can't be tied, and the shoelaces have to be tucked into the shoe.
Well, these laces can't be intertwined at all. They weren't knotted, but they were together.
I'll go with the 4 minus.
Okay.
Yep. John!
This is gonna kill me right here. That one.
Can you explain the points and level system?
That could be like a 5-hour long explanation. Point sheets are filled out by supervising staff, such as the house father, and it determines the student's rank. It's up to the house father to score the point sheet on a 0, which is rebellion, to 5, which is excellent scale.
Or you just kind of go over what 0 level restrictions there are.
There's no other way to say it, but the 0 level student, they get treated like, we'll say, 6-year-olds. They have to be told, or they have to ask what we want them to do for everything.
Holy cow, that sounds like Scientology's RPF. Their corrective program. Rehabilitation something, I forget what the rehabilitation program facility, or I forget exactly what it stands for, but it's a forced labor prison camp sort of setup.
Wow.
And yeah, anyway, it's a thing.
0 levelers are putting so much pain on the house, so much pain on the house staff and just the other students in the house, that a way to kind of show them the amount of pain they're putting on everybody else is to put a little bit of that type of pain on them. They have to get a time in to use the bathroom. They have a certain length of time that they can go. They don't have many special privileges. They do not get any free time whatsoever, so they must be working the entire time. Generally, to get on 3rd or 4th level, you have given in to the ministry and the expectations that we hold students accountable to.
I came here.
So to get to the top level, you have to be fully committed, fully submitted, and absolutely loyal to the program. Literally, program. Wow.
When did I come? The summer of 79, and we had a level system at that time. And the basic expectations, responsibilities, and the privileges of the level system have stayed the same. Those have not changed. Children's phone calls are recorded. You wanted to know about the letters as well. The letters are, most parents don't have well, none of the parents have had a problem with this. They agree to this. We will monitor the incoming and outgoing mail for a time.
So it's a prison camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can sweep out? Yes. Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna have to bust out and sweep out. We only have like 5 minutes left.
What else do I miss about home? The ability to sit by a piano or a guitar and sing freely. I miss being able to call up my friends and say I'm having a really hard time right now. Do you want to go talk about it over a cup of coffee at Starbucks? I don't have that anymore. I really miss my dog. I miss the old days, like before my parents ever found out that I was gay. I guess here, like I am, I'm learning, even though I'm not graduating with my friends. It's just, like, it's really hard, and all I can do now is trust God.
Yeah, guys, we really need to step it up, especially there's only 6 guys. We need to be aware of what's going on. You guys are forgetting a lot of stuff. Things are going by missed. You weren't hustling hardly at all this morning. Late for a lot of stuff. Let's do 10 push-ups. Yep, my count, ready? Down, 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down.
The latest session that I was in had to do with me giving out information to Matt. I was really worried about like a lot of my friends back home. I asked him like, could you make my friends aware so that they know that like I didn't drop off the face of the earth, and I guess they contacted Matt and that like happened, and I got a session.
Matt told on David? I guess he lost a bunch of privileges. I guess after his session, David isn't allowed to interact with anyone. I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's uncalled for. Right. I mean, hell, federal inmates get treated better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Bear in mind, folks, remember, this is a story about conversion therapy. That's why I'm bringing it to the table, just as a reminder for why we're here. Supreme Court. Grr.
Speech.
No, this is not a free speech issue. Sorry, you didn't realize I'd already tapped the mute button to go back, but yeah, you're right. It's not a free speech issue by any stretch of the imagination.
She's been standing there for like over an hour. I don't really know what the logic is behind it, but it seems kind of unnecessary.
Clouding my role, I think, and I'm not getting you guys what you need as house father. And one reason is because I'm allowing you guys to come to me a lot with some of the emotional stuff and all that kind of goodness. So just don't bring it to me.
Wait, what? He's supposed to be the house father, but he doesn't want to provide emotional support. That's... Oh, man.
Where are they supposed to get it then?
I guess each other?
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, right? Have you ever watched Lord of the Flies?
Right.
Oh, man.
I'm just doing what I have to do to go home. That's all I want. Is to go home. That's all. And whatever they want me to do in order for me to go home, I will do it. Because I want to go home.
What was that about?
Apparently, like, I'm not really here because I'm gay, like, whatever. But just be like relationship with issues is why I'm here. But he tried to tell me that like my relationship issues weren't based on my sexuality, but then again it was because my anger drives from rejection from my parents, and he didn't believe that. Opening up is a really difficult thing to do because I really have to put a face on that isn't me. I have to hide behind that mask again of, oh no, I'm not gay. I have to hide behind the mask of, you know, not being able to express who I am, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. The other night, one of the students here, he claimed that he had a secret of his own. He was bisexual, or he thought he was bisexual, and he was on first level. The next day, we were cleaning the baño, and we aren't allowed to get off work related, but we felt that, you know, it would be like an okay time to just like talk about it, just to say like, you know, yes, my parents did send me here because I am gay, that situation, like, but later on, I guess one of the students like heard something or heard whispering. I had a session, I had to go in, I had to admit everything, I had to basically come out to my group leader, my teacher, and let my house father know what was going on. It was probably the most humiliating moment for me. It was the scariest thing in the world because like you go in there, if I touched the door, they were just like 2 push-ups now. They were like, well, you're in big trouble, you know? And I was so scared. My nervous reaction is to go like this a lot, like I fiddle with my fingers. And Craig, my group leader, was like slapping my hands. She's like, get your hands away. Like, get your hands away. Look at him straight. Tell me what happened. Get your hands away. Like, I kept doing that, like, as a nervous reaction. They were just like, stop that. 2 more push-ups. 2 more push-ups. Get your hands away. I was thinking, like, there's recordings in there.
Man, see, this is where I start running into serious issues with how things like this are run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not trained psychology professionals, obviously.
Yeah.
And the types of people that run these sorts of places
Mm-hmm.
are not the kinds of people that are going to go seek professional help anyway.
Right.
I have some videos upcoming that are going to be talking about that. But yeah, it's troubling to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do we deal with kids that come down and have homosexual issues or claim to be even bisexual? You know, we really don't even look at that. A lot of our kids have been hurt sexually by people, and so many, as we have gone through counseling, have come to understand that the reason why they have enjoyed the same sex relationships is because they couldn't trust the other sex. The whole
Wait, hold up.
Right?
No,
What?
no. Oh my goodness.
No.
God, such a misguided and unfortunately popular thought
Mm-hmm.
on that conservative side of things.
Right. Be with boys because you don't trust girls.
That's the logic they're trying to utilize,
Ugh.
right? But that doesn't explain the ones who, as they put it, think they're bisexual.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It falls
That's
apart.
true,
It
yeah.
falls apart at that point.
Right.
So, again, it wasn't thought through to its logical end. This is a bad habit that conservatives and conservative thinkers have, or so it seems. That's the pattern that I've recognized. We want to do this, but we don't. Yeah, it's actions and consequences.
Yeah.
The issue is, what's the deeper issue? And you have to get to the root. And then they see that, oh, I'm so glad. Many of our kids go, I am so glad that I'm not a homosexual. And I said, but you claimed you were when you came. He said, yes, because his sexual act felt good, and I trusted that person. But now I understand that God has given the sexual act. You're supposed to feel in the sexual act. It's just in the wrong context that I was doing it in.
Wait, what? Oh man, tell me you don't know science without telling me you don't know science. Tell me you don't know biology, or, I mean, oh God. I wonder if she's a young earth creationist. Moving on.
So homosexuality, we really don't focus on that.
So I just woke up and I heard the staff member screaming at a student outside my window. He's really just like laying into him, screaming at the top of his lungs. And it looks like there's another student digging a hole. The students aren't talking back or anything, just kind of have their heads down. I'm gonna go see if I can get a better shot. I was beginning to become really uncomfortable with many of the ways that students were being treated here. I started to question everything I believed to be true about the school and even my own faith. I wasn't sure how long I could continue playing both sides. I kept praying, asking for a sign, but I was still confused. In search of answers, I reached out to a woman who had written a book about her time at the school.
I was sent to Escuela Caribe because I ran away from home, and I left home because my father was violent. I wrote Jesus Land, my memoir, as a tribute to my brother. We were sent down to Escuela Caribe together, and after he died, I found this green notebook where he was writing about his experiences at home and also at Escuela Caribe. So I wrote the book again as a tribute to him, a way to immortalize him, and also to kind of set the record straight. You know what? This school is not a nice place. It's not a good place for children. It really hurt both my brother and I tremendously. Let me give you one anecdote of an image that kind of sums up Escuela Caribe for me. It was one day I saw a counselor punch my brother in the stomach, completely unprovoked. And at the time, we weren't allowed to communicate. And just the feeling of utter helplessness that I felt seeing my brother being physically abused by a teacher at this place and not being able to do anything to help him. That's the kind of sick feeling that I took away from this place when I left it.
That had to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Her restraint. I mean, oh, good grief.
Yeah, as a kid, I would have killed somebody that would have hurt my little brother.
Well, as a kid in Royal Rangers, if I'd seen anybody hurt one of my fellow Rangers, it didn't matter. We were all, and that looped over into my military experience.
Mm-hmm.
We can make fun of each other, but you hurt one of us, you got all of us to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, wow. Anyway.
It's just believe what we believe or else we'll be violent towards you. And that's how I feel about Escuela Caribe.
It sounds like MAGA, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What kind of punishments have you gotten?
For panic attacks, I've gotten punishments like, usually I would just get 6 units, which is either 6 SWATs, 600 exercises, or 6 hours of work. But I don't usually like SWATs. Usually that's a last resort because I can only take 5 at a time, and it's pretty painful.
You have, of course, work, manual labor, exercises, a certain amount of exercises per something that was done wrong. We do have the SWATs, or that is a discipline.
We still use the paddle. We used the paddle 30 years ago. We still give push-ups. We give push-ups 30 years ago. They still run casitas here from the bottom, from the gate to the top.
That's another problem with conservatives. They don't like change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you would think that after 30 years, the system would be a little more refined.
You would think.
You would think.
When they have
1 or a 0 on their point sheet from the day before, they get, for every 1 they have, they get 1 casita, and if they get a 0, they get 2 casitas, but they can't run more than 3 in a day.
There's one right here, and there's one in the back too. We'll heal in a couple of days though. This one was a pretty big one about a week and a half ago, but it's healed now.
It's at around 8.7 seconds.
Just gotta take care of them.
So how did you feel about the run?
Tired, upset.
But eventually it is going to get to a place where it is going to be very uncomfortable. And you are going to hate that. That's going to be pain you don't want. And it's my duty to let you know that's the direction it's going so you can make good decisions. All right?
All right.
So this is for you to figure out. But the disrespectfulness and the whole beyond 0 level stuff, and you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to stop.
Okay.
All right?
Sir.
All right, 15 squat thrusts.
Yes, sir. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, he's apparently been misbehaving, hasn't been exactly following the rules. That's what he means
So
by
what
beyond.
did he do though?
I'm not exactly, well, whatever it is, it's getting him demerits. Whatever it is, that's because 0 is, as they were explaining earlier,
Right.
is a mark for rebellion.
Right.
They're rebellious if they get a 0.
Yeah.
And so.
But they didn't say specifically what
No,
he did wrong.
but the house father's like beyond 0, which means more than just rebellious. And it's like, get your shit together, or we're gonna go all James Dobson on you. And it's just like, yeah. Makes me want to do things that probably shouldn't be done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Yep.
My name is Mary Powell, and I worked with New Horizons Ministries from March of 1991 to April of 1994.
Was there anything that you personally saw or knew was going on while you were staff that would be considered physical abuse?
I didn't see it, but I heard it. Especially like in the QR.
QR is forbidden to talk about. You're not allowed to talk about why you were there. That's not something I've never heard. I mean, I wasn't even told not to say that, but it's just one of those things that you don't say. You're in the room by yourself. You get a mattress about that thick, at its thickest, and a pillow and a blanket.
And you'd hear there'd be 4 or 5 big guys, staff members in there with a kid. And there's just all you just knew that the kid was being tossed around and slammed against. And this is after, a kid has probably been in there for days, with not like a sheet, to cover up with, depending on how insubordinate they were.
It's horrible.
How are these places allowed to exist?
It's because it's free speech. I mean, what a bullshit answer.
Right?
I would say to you that we all have our perceptions. I would tell you that we are not a perfect organization, and we definitely make mistakes. There are things that have happened here and that will happen here in the future that shouldn't happen.
There's bad things are going to happen.
Wait. Run that back again.
No, you don't do that. No, you don't. Oh, bad things are going to happen. It's just going to happen. No, you work to correct that.
So, do you think that kind of thinking could lead to the trouble that our country is in right now? Well, bad things are going to happen, so
It's an interesting thought. I don't know.
Well, Justin,
Mm-hmm.
while you're in the garden, he commented on a post that I made on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Oh, that reminds me of the Q thing, or Q saying, it
Mhm.
has to be this bad."
Well, that's a little different than just accepting there will be bad things.
Well,
You
but
know?
you have to accept that these things are this bad, that they got to get worse, so the normies will wake up to how bad it is.
Mm.
So they're embracing the suck and praying for more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I personally see the parallels because
Mhm.
I've had those conversations with. Anyway, back to this nightmare.
Has there ever been anything here that has taken place that we wish we could change? I would have to honestly state that there has been things that have taken place.
I am not going to deny that there was never any form of abuse that has happened here. I think in any area of childcare, there is abuse. I've heard.
Oh, no. In any area of childcare, there's abuse? No. I'm in childcare. No, I've never abused a kid.
That is the kind of logic that echoes through MAGA.
Mm.
Well, I could tell you that in any organization, I'm like, yeah, well, here's some organizations that have set up safe boundaries.
Yeah, and
And
my
churches,
girlfriends,
businesses,
yeah,
social groups, communities, entire neighborhoods.
we're supposed to strive to be better.
Right. That's why the Watchdog website exists,
Mhm.
so you can know who the predators are in your neighborhood.
Right.
You know. Anyway, back to these misguided, misinformed people. I'm trying to be nice.
Having worked in childcare, I'm extremely offended.
You should be. You
There-
should be.
You should not be like, oh, in any childcare, there's going to be abuse. No.
Well, I would hope that any self-respecting church or any other faith system, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
any faith system collective would have and would support setting up safe guidelines for protecting the children, and that's not going to be part of it.
Yeah, Lutherans have the safe places initiative.
Right.
United Church of Christ, has
Well, there's-
safe child protocols.
There's also a interfaith organization
Mhm.
that is running church harm awareness and church safety
Yeah.
guidelines setups. And so, if you're not sure how to do a safe church, they've got programs and guidelines and all kinds of stuff.
But it's like simple, practical things.
Right.
Like if you have a bathroom that's like a one-person bathroom, you keep that locked,
Right.
and, you keep a door open. There's, if you're meeting with somebody,
Right.
you don't do things in secret. Anybody.
Right.
And in the child care centers and the daycare, there's always two teachers.
Right.
No one person is left alone.
Two
with
two
children.
or three, so that in case one has to step out.
Mhm.
But another thing that they point out to look for a safe church,
Mhm.
it's like one of the first and foremost things they suggest to look for.
Mhm.
Are their finances publicly visible?
Yeah.
If they are, you're probably looking at a safe church, probably. But that's no guarantee. But
Right.
But if they are hiding the money,
Right.
then they're probably hiding other things too.
Yeah.
Just a rule of thumb there. Anyway, a nightmare fueled by misguided people.
For just general incidences that have happened in the past where students were abused, there's no denying that whatsoever. However, a lot of the onus, I believe, also falls on the student.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you were abused, but that was your fault.
This is that Darvo thing again. Deny, assault, reverse victim and offender.
Mhm.
This is also the same sort of thing that you see when you hear a report of, well, she got raped. Oh, well, what was she wearing?
Mhm.
Or so many stories that I've heard like that, where
Yeah.
it's always been turned around on the victim. They did something.
Mhm.
And so the victim is now a homewrecker.
Right.
And it's like, wait, what? This is not how we're supposed to treat our fellow humans.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, these people infuriate me on the regular.
I wanted to know that he was safe, but something in my spirit knew that he wasn't safe and he wasn't in a good place.
The pieces started to fall together, and finally there was communication that confirmed that he was actually had been taken out of the country.
One of my son's friends came back from the school. He had been in the school and said he had seen David down there.
So we started by, yes, researching the school and trying to find out what the school was about. And we started to form plans on how we could possibly get in touch with David.
We had weekly meetings with a group of us trying to figure out what we could do.
We really wanted to get him home for graduation.
Do you get back on?
Good teachers.
Yeah.
Good school.
Yeah.
Second?
Yeah, I'll be on second again, so I'll be able to talk to everybody. But then again, I made fairly bad points yesterday, so I'll probably be on first or point probation by next Sunday.
I'm not really excited, but it's alright.
Pico is this trip that we take every year, in the summer usually. And we all pack up our stuff and hike for 5 days, 6 days straight, up a bunch of mountains to the top of Pico Duarte.
Do you know what I've noticed about how they pronounce these local names? It's very Anglican.
Oh.
They're very American with their pronunciations. They're not assimilating into the community whatsoever, and yet they expect folks to assimilate when they come to America. I just wanted to point out this.
That is a
that is hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm familiar with anyway, back to this craziness.
You guys still didn't hustle for you, still not following her directions, still not listening to her. That's not okay. That's not okay when we're back at the house. That's not okay now. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys you give me 10 squat thrusts. Begin and recover.
Yes.
Wait, I just noticed they have a house father for a bunch of girls.
That's not good.
I find that problematic. Man, I just got all kinds of issues with this setup.
Yeah.
1, 2.
So I expect from this point on that you're going to be responding to Liz. She says, you guys move this stuff to this thing, to here. That you're jumping on it, you're doing that. If she says, let's go, you're responding, you're actually moving. I know you're tired, but Beth, start working on the tents.
Drama.
Or let's see what
I think it's funny because if any of my friends were here and they would see like these people just rolling in the mud, they would probably cry with me right now because this is like the most excruciating, gross, nastiest thing. Do you know what's in this dirt? There's like cow poop, horse poop, all kinds of poop. And then people put it on their face. It's nasty. This is not like a mud bath, okay, or exfoliating or anything of that sort. It's horrible. At this point, I hate my life.
I wish to tackle time!
We're going.
No, come on, Let's get dirty now.
I don't want to get dirty. I don't want to get dirty.
First, they don't tell us that Rachel, staff member, has to be with us when we're interviewing students, which is kind of a big deal because it takes away from any credibility of any interviews students we have whatsoever. And then every time we try to film like your confrontation with a staff member and a student, they all like don't let us. Definitely make sure to never make
I didn't talk to you.
yeah. All we're left with is just like pretty shots of nature and kids saying like how great this hike was and like how great the program is, and if things don't change then we're gonna have to switch gears, and it's just what we're gonna have to do because we're trying to make a good film, we're trying to make an honest film and one that's credible.
Once the staff started,
I think that's great that she's calling them out for trying to turn this into a propaganda piece. No, you can only show the good stuff.
Right.
I got a feeling she's sneaky enough, that she's smart enough to get what she wants.
restricting my interviews, I set up the camera, left it unattended, and started to film from a distance.
I got sent down here. Yeah, and like I don't know, I struggle.
Filming at a distance, that's the safest way for me to engage with monitoring the activities of certain groups that I'm not healthy enough to more directly engage with. That's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Health in general matters.
Yeah.
I go with my mom a lot. Like it was hard. Like I could never like sit down and just like have a conversation with her without like yelling, you know. And it was always just hard to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're getting lunch right now.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. It gets frustrating. But like I do talk to my mom a lot, and like I try to like just tell her like kind of like what's going on and stuff like that. But like sometimes my mom doesn't believe, like she doesn't grasp things very well, you know. So I'm just like, Mom, I'm trying to tell you how things really are in this program, and she's like, they're fine, it's not that bad, but it is, you know. And like I'm just like, if you saw how things were, you'd be sad, you know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Maybe it's abused. Maybe it's just draining. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like you have to stuff up your emotions so much that you can't really let them loose. And so, like I don't know. And it does get hard when like, you know, like different things happen. But I don't know.
Did you catch that? Maybe it's abuse. Maybe it's just draining. She's questioning what she's having to endure.
Yeah.
And she pointed out that her mother's like, "You're just lying. It's like,
not that hard."
You're right.
Yeah.
Minimizing her daughter's experience, and her daughter questioning, "Wait, am I being abused? What the fuck?" Yeah. It's good to see somebody being that smart about it, but they're trapped. What are they going to do? What is she going to do?
It's difficult.
Do you think like you're going back in August, right?
I'm supposed to be, but things change a lot, so I don't really know if I'm still leaving or if, but that's what my mom said, but they can always convince your parents to make you stay here longer for their money.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of organizations, nonprofit, but like but it's cool because they're like, it's not for the money, no. But it is. Everything's for the money. How could the school still be standing if it wasn't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the king's over them. I'm going to allow this to happen. They're going to crumble in your hands. Okay, but you've got to do it this way. If you are struggling with the fight, know that God does not waste suffering. If he plows, it is because he purposes a crop. But your feelings and experiences evaluated in the light of God's word. Those of you that are considering
God wants you to go through these trials.
Yeah.
And make you a better person. It's not abuse.
So, since it was muted for the moment when you first started speaking, you were like, "Oh, we're not abusing you. God wants you to go through this."
Right.
Is the excuse that you're interpreting from their words.
Yeah.
They're setting themselves up with this plausible deniability protection to these young people's brains.
And she was just questioning whether or not this was abuse, and they're giving her the answer right there. This is not abuse. We're not abusing you.
Right, we're not abusing you. And
This is what God wants you to go through.
And we're not in a cult.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's a good word for it.
A relationship with Christ, remember that the spiritual life is a stern choice. It is not a consoling retreat from the difficulties of existence.
And like I always had like aspirations of going to college and stuff, and like my parents just were never like, I don't know, honestly, like I don't think they knew how to confront and stuff, because like they're telling me, like Mr. Seabrook, that I have all these problems that like I didn't even think I had, like with anxiety. Like I never really thought of myself as having an anxiety problem.
Back at home, like, did you feel stressed out, or like you had too much on your plate and you didn't know what to do?
Well, my schoolwork was a good like 4 hours of homework every night, just because like they were all AP classes and stuff.
And if I was doing as well as you were in school, you know, like that would just speak volumes to my parents.
I'm just like, God, why did like you let this happen to me? Like my birthday will be 5 months exactly for me. I'll be 18 by then.
Yeah, turning 18 here is not all that much fun.
I know.
I don't know if you heard this. I got up here and I'm a little nervous. But I will flow these beats and I will spin them. They will make you move your feet and I'm not spinning. I came down here to deal with some issues. And now I'm moving things to Jesus Christ and he wants to kiss you. He wants to love you and never miss you. He wants you to come back, the prodigal son. Yeah, he wants to be a number one. He wants to come and give you all of his love. Like the Father from above, he got me from my knees and he picked me up. He wiped my face off, he filled my cup. He is the number one savior. And if I could have him, he'd be a flavor.
It took me a moment to realize what they were doing, but they're freestyling Christian rap beatbox style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. That's primitive. They're making their own music. That's pretty cool. That's creative.
That is creative.
Skirting the boundaries of what they can get away with.
Looking good. Okay, this one you can be silly. 3.
You know, parts of Pico were like back home in Colorado in the mountains, and I used to do a lot of hiking with my dad and like four-wheeling with my dad in the mountains, and it really like, you know, kind of brought me to the realization that like, you know, my dad isn't here and I'm not gonna see him for a while. And like, I don't know, him and I used to have a really good relationship, and I guess like it just made me realize like, you know, how bad our relationship was and stuff. So unfortunately, the people that I really got to know are gonna leave in like 15 days in August, either going to Marion or going all the way back home. So I'm just kind of stuck here.
After all this, it became very clear to me that this so-called therapy was doing more harm than good. And it was getting harder and harder to hide these feelings from the staff.
This morning we have a lot of people here with a lot of different things on their minds. How many people enjoyed Pico this last week? Is there anybody here that did not really enjoy themselves on Pico this last week? 2, 3 hands. Okay. Well, you know, that's honesty. I like honesty, you know. We got to recognize that this morning that we have great opportunity once again to be, as we're gathered together, to see what God's about in our lives. How's He going to transform and change who you are? Are you willing to submit to God as your master?
Or my interpretation of God, and you submit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little closer to the truth, you think? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Follow me.
this is gonna sound kind of shady, but I kind of wrote like a letter. I was just like, oh, if only I could give this to like Kate to give to Angie or something. But it's so crazy that she goes to
And she's going to Viola. Yeah, because we'll definitely meet her and hopefully do an interview.
You'll love her to death. You'll love her to death. She's one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. So, yeah.
That's something that you guys can really begin to think, what are we going to do? What am I going to do with this? Forget everybody else on the team. I got to get me straight before it becomes a team. What am I going to do about this? Or say, he's still checked out. Brian Wall. They all must be crazy in North Carolina. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, that's fine. At least you're being honest. You know, I respect that. But realize, here comes the pain. You know, see you next week on Friday. You see what I mean? They're all going to come painted out on the point sheet or the inspection sheet again. And then we'll all look at it and go, you know? All right, let's get the...
What's up with this place?
We got inspected.
What usually happens during inspection is Mr. Anderson, the home life director, comes by and he basically checks the house to see how clean it is. If he finds busts, he usually starts throwing stuff as what's happened in the room. I got a couple shirts thrown and surprisingly my PA is not too bad. So yeah, now we're all just in here to basically put everything away and fix all of our busts that we had, so. I have a letter inside my book. Okay, later. I don't know when I can get it to you. Maybe you can have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's on the line.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for keeping you.
Yep.
If you get in trouble, just tell them that we had you.
I thought that was a rather interesting bit of psychological warfare.
Yeah.
As you come walking out of the dorms, there's those two dirt bikes sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you run, we're coming after you. That's how I interpreted it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mind games, they suck.
Yeah.
Hey, Leash, the rest of this stuff here is running out.
Is jumping almost done?
Yeah, there's only a few things left.
Fantastic.
May I step in? May I step in?
She must be a level 0.
Yeah.
Because she's having to ask permission to enter the kitchen. How humiliating.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue. So it's something that I'm developing.
Beth, thought your lips.
Pardon?
Thought your lips.
Right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Can I do it for
No. Yeah.
May I begin?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You'd like 1 chicken soup, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5.
I ask that you bless this food to our bodies as well as the hands we pray. In name we pray. Amen. You can succeed if you choose to just put some of the things that you've done in the past behind you and forgive and let God work through you and grow you through those experiences. And you can overcome and you can start anew. But those are choices that you need to make. And I can't make those for you. I can't push you into that decision. But that's a choice that you need to look at, you need to make, you know. Because you can be ready to start anew and afresh, and persevere and push through some of these failures that have pretty much sent you down here, you know. But again, those are your choices. All right, tomorrow we're starting, it looks like it's King David.
King David. Huh. Not one of my favorite characters in the Bible for sure.
1, 2, 3, Mary cover.
David.
I had a few obstacles thrown at me today. I got a letter, from my parents, and they were just telling me, how much, fun they're having, going up to the mountains and four-wheeling, and how they brought, some of our friends anyway. And also, my mom sent me a Colorado quarter, and I was just so, I tried to handle that pretty well. I tried to avoid conversations yeah, well, if I work on this, then I'll go home then, and, I'm trying to avoid conversations like that. And, I had a decent day. I mean, the stuff that, with the counseling, getting letters and that sort of stuff did kind of hit me, but, it took me about a good half hour, after counseling, just to, bring myself back down. So, I guess you could say that was a bust. So overall, I guess you could say I had a pretty good day. I'll go for 4 minus.
I'm gonna give you a 4 minus.
Yeah, through my letters, I kind of was feeling that, my parents are totally, hiding this. That they're hiding the fact that, I'm here because of this. I think they're telling me that, oh, he's studying in the Dominican Republic. Cool,
Yeah.
Which isn't entirely true. I mean, yeah, it is that, but it's a lot more than that.
I think that it might be helpful. Okay, these are things that bother you and these are things that concern you, but at some point I think it's important to step back and go, why do these bother me so much?
I also feel like my parents sent me here to hide me, just from being embarrassed.
So enjoy.
Hid him there to avoid being embarrassed of their gay son.
Yeah. Hidden away. Kind of like the aunt with dementia, or the tuberculosis case, or
mental illness.
Yeah,
mental retardation,
or terminal illness. Yeah, anything like that. Anything that might be an embarrassment to the family, we hide it away. What a dehumanizing way of thinking.
Yeah. And I thought we had gotten over that.
Right?
I thought that died in the 1900s.
Well, unfortunately, humans are going to human, and so we can get them smarter.
Good luck with that.
Right?
Hiding for a little while.
I don't trust my parents. Why should I trust them sending me to this program? So why should I trust this program?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really trying to find trust in that because I want my parents back really bad. So I don't know. Just I'm trying my hardest, just trust in the program and stuff, and every day I'm just choose I wish I could talk to my parents.
I think there's value in taking time out. We need discipline, we need guidance, we need that black and white expression, I think. We need that. And
what do you mean by black and white expression?
Black and white. Okay, so the way I'm interpreting this here with with David being out about being gay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just jump to the conclusion that they're talking about sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
And male and female,
Yeah.
Black and white. And that's one of the things that just absolutely frustrates the dickens out of me. Because eye color's on a spectrum, hair color's on a spectrum, skin color's on a spectrum. Why are gender and sexuality not also recognized to be on a spectrum as just a part of the human experience?
Exactly.
But they get wrapped up in these ideologies, and
Black and white thinking.
yeah, it's yes or no, not a yes, well, maybe, or no.
Right.
It's like, do you like chocolate ice cream? Yes or no? I don't have a third option. I can't say, well, I sort of like it. It's in my top 5.
I like it if it doesn't have nuts.
Yeah, right? I mean, so again, it goes back to that sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that body is. The family, the whatever.
One thing I'm going to try to do more is be more black and white, because I think that does help increase security and alleviate anxiety. I think that's a plus.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time to get relational and all that garbage.
Okay, I just want to point out that him funneling this kid into a black and white thinking program is going to disable his ability to cope with the nuance of the real world.
Yeah.
And that's good. That is going to cause more damage than the physical punishment they're putting him through, because that's brain stuff, and that's you can't put a brain in a splint. You know that.
Back home, I had last semester a 4.3 GPA. I mean, I had everything going for me. I was trying to get theater scholarships, and I can't have that anymore. I was trying to get an international baccalaureate diploma. That's gone. Basically, everything that I'm...
Those things are gone because of his attendance record being shot, because he's been shipped off to another country by his parents. They robbed him of his future that he was dreaming of.
And a bright future.
Yeah.
Smart kid. Oh.
Happens all too often, and that just... How many great artists has the world been robbed of because of these hard black and white thinking ideology sets?
Yes. I heard a psychic once say that she knew World War II could have been prevented. No, she knew that we could have done time travel because she psychically talked to the person who knew time travel. And he was a kid, and he was killed in the death camps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Been working for 3 years, and high school is gone. So I'm facing a lot of disappointment. I honestly think there's got to be some kind of law against holding you here past the age of 18, because although we are in the Dominican Republic, this is a U.S. establishment. I am a U.S. citizen. I should be free by my 18th birthday, but no.
Yeah, false imprisonment.
Yeah,
and
there are laws against it.
Right. So if you want to put this in a legal context, he was kidnapped, trafficked out of the country. So that's international trafficking, even though the Dominican Republic is a U.S. territory. It's still, it's still trafficking. And and then false imprisonment.
Forced labor.
Forced labor, yeah. I mean, those are distinct laws, 4 distinct laws that all carry heavy charges, or heavy sentences, if handled correctly. That's, anyway.
Right now, like, I just feel so open, but like, it's so hard because I feel like I'm being forced into a ball, and psychologically it's not going to be good for me. I feel like I am going to need some major counseling once I get out of here. I feel like I'm going to lose my mind here. I feel like I'm going to, like, I'm just going to crack, and I'm just not going to be able to go any further.
Good for that young man to recognize that he was going to need therapy. Yes,
Yes,
social workers can save the world.
Yes, it can happen. But also the concern about the breaking. It's that breakage that's quite often the goal. And not just conversion therapy, but also in Scientology. If they send you to RPF, they're trying to crack your soul so that you're more submissive and compliant to the system. A lot of cults do that, and it's actually a technique that was experimented with in MK Ultra to create split personalities.
Right, they managed to do it, didn't they?
Yeah, and so not in the Hollywood fashion. The Manchurian Candidate doesn't exist, code phrase and personality switches, but there are individuals that are programmed with multiple personalities that are completely differentiated because of the trauma that they were endured when they were younger. They were created that way. It's horrible. Humans are vicious animals, or have the potential to be, but we also have the potential of creating amazing things like pipe organs and paintings.
And being amazing to each other. And having loving communities, and, we'll put our life on the line to save somebody, and that's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just so, like, it's so hard for me. Like, I mean, so many things run through my mind. I don't sleep. I mean, like, right now, I'm just thinking of, like, every little way of getting out of here, but then again, I'm just like, God, you put me here. I'm trying to trust you. So.
I didn't put you there. You were kidnapped.
Right, exactly. But that's part of the charismatic mindset. Everything you're experiencing is because God allowed it to happen.
It's
quite
not
often,
dissimilar from the caste system.
Right, but quite often in that community, they look at Job, at how he endured, without realizing Job had to endure that because of the bet the devil had with God. I bet I can make your best hero, your best fan, your biggest fan turn against you.
Well, I don't know if we want to get into discussion with Job right now.
But what I'm saying is that's how they use it, as you can endure anything. And then as you see, they're laying on punishments and saying it's God, it's God doing it, not us.
Right.
So anyway, we're not going to talk about teleportation either.
Sweet. So tell me, what happened to you this week?
Well, I was on 0 level this morning when I woke up, but I've been doing my requirements to get on 2nd. I was gonna wait till next week, but then Mr. Anderson's like, no, I want her on 2nd now. So I got my paper signed and now I'm on 2nd. And it's kind of freaky because, like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna let some people down, like when I build relationships on 2nd, and stuff like that. This morning.
I just noticed that Bible she's reading is the God's New Word translation. I'm unfamiliar with that one. I mean, there's like 450 translations in English. I don't know them all, and nobody can. But I'm curious.
What's it called again?
God's New World, or God's New Word. God's New Word translation.
Okay.
So it's going to be one of the newer translations, probably something akin to the NIV, but I can't say that it's going to be a Schofield derivative like the NIV is. So I don't know. I can't speak authoritatively on that. I'm curious now, though.
Yeah, me too.
Morning, I got off my self-harm support,
And basically what you have to do is you have to go in and see Mr. Anderson and tell them some reasons of why you think that you're ready to get off of it. So now I'm support free and I'm good to go. I don't think I'm gonna need self-harm support anymore. I mean, I've been on a couple times and each time I've been able to gain more. I've been able to better be able to talk to people when I need to instead of just holding it inside and everything.
Great.
Cool.
You leave Monday morning?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It's true.
That's so sad. Who am I gonna run away from my house breaks to?
I don't know.
That's so sad.
If you could say something to your closest friend, what would it be?
To my closest friend, okay, Angie, I had a lot of fun with you the day before I left, going to all the graduation parties with you, and it really meant a lot to me. And just thanks for all the good times and the trips down to Denver. I mean, like, this is probably, last year's probably the best year of my life with her, so that's about it.
So there's a Colorado kid. Oh boy.
It's been 6 weeks since I arrived here at Escuela Caribe, and it's going to be really difficult to leave the students here, especially David. I do still have his letter, and his best friend Angie just happens to be a freshman at my school. So I'm gonna find her. David wrote you this letter, and I gave it to ask it to you.
Okay.
And I think it really helped him to know that you were gonna, like, get this letter.
Get
so,
it.
yeah.
Angie, this may come off as a shock to you, but our worst fears have come true. I'm currently in the Dominican Republic at a school called Escuela Caribe in Jarabacoa. I don't know why I alarm you. I don't want to alarm you, so I will try to lighten things up. Rusty, your Willard needs rescuing. If this letter is seen by staff here, I will receive a due penalty, including SWATs.
Yeah,
What does
they,
that mean?
Like, one of the punishments they do there sometimes is SWATs, which is basically like getting a spanking with like a wooden paddle or a leather strap.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm entrusting Kate with this to get to you safely. I need a lot of help, so please, 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 if you can, get me home. They want to hold me here for over a year. I've been here for about a month and a half, and I've already begun to lose my mind. I beg you to please let your mom know and use all the power you and your mom and your dad and your sister can to free me. Angie, please pray for me for strength. And please bring me home, Mom.
The letter came, and that was...
Yeah. Intense, huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine receiving a letter like that from a close friend.
I know.
Right?
real powerful for me. That was when I decided that, you know, if we're sending people down there, I'm going to be one of them that goes down there.
You know, the planning was probably a really good thing to have to occupy the time. I mean, that he wasn't 18 yet, because it let us plan some more. So I think looking into the school, trying to make contact with the school, trying to understand who they were and how they held students, what they did.
Money was raised and put together for 2 members of the group to actually go down to the Dominican Republic.
So everything has to be lined up when we go in, and it's get the most documents we can together to go in, so that on one visit, we can get this done.
He thought it would be a good idea if we had something from an attorney in San Domingo.
That
will give us enough that we should be able to get him released. You know, I mean, that's just all there is to
It goes a
it.
long way to have somebody from the consulate say, I know firsthand that this young man wants to leave. And he has the right to do it. now that he's 18.
I think at this point, we go in there tomorrow with whatever we have.
Oh, whatever we have.
And
Right,
that's
give it a
it,
shot.
and we will get him released
We're
one
gonna
way
get
or
him
another.
released.
You know, he's a good kid, he's a smart kid. This kid does not deserve to be in this place.
6473.
Hi, Mark, this is Doug Lyons. Good, how you doing? You wanted to talk again? He's just one that needs to be able to walk out of there, and we want to make that happen for him tomorrow.
We recognized we were probably going to get one shot at going onto the campus and demanding his release. And so there were times spent for the couple of days in advance trying to be sure everything was lined up as best we could.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Mark, this is Doug Lyons. We're at the base of the hill here, so I guess if you want to call David and tell him we're coming.
We arrived at the school. Doug and I went onto the campus and were allowed on and were brought to an office to sit down and meet with school personnel, and we presented what we were there for.
Then we presented the letter and said, we want David out of here.
Game's over. It's done. He's 18. He's gonna come home.
And this guy we were talking to, his whole demeanor changed. He started sweating bullets. I mean, he had perspiration all over his forehead instantaneously.
And from there you could tell that a lot of activity was going on in other parts of the office. People were concerned. There were phone calls being made. We were told that he wasn't there and that we wouldn't be able to see him.
And they were trying to push us out, and Mark was being way more persistent than I was about staying there.
It became clear after a while that we were not going to leave the campus with him, that we weren't going to be granted the access no matter what we had tried, and that we were going to be asked to leave.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
That's like major league messed up.
Yeah.
Looks like the U.S. Embassy isn't going to do anything.
As soon as Doug and I left the school campus, the phone calls started to come in.
Okay, well, why don't you call David on the phone? You can get a hold of those guys. Okay, so that's not important to do that. Is that what you're saying? It's not. Okay, well, what you're saying is the house trip is more important than his rights is what basically you're saying. But I understand that. I'll call Mark and see what he has to say, and then we'll go from there. But I really appreciate you calling me back. Okay, thanks, Jeff. Bye-bye.
So the rights of the business hold precedent over the rights of the, for lack of a better term, inmate.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's some corporate nonsense right there.
Mm-hmm. So we're leaving without David. I'm really worried about David. I can't imagine how the staff must be reacting.
There was work done to get a judge to issue an order that said David had to appear in the United States.
Because the embassy wouldn't force Escuela Caribe to release David, we had a U.S. judge issue a writ of habeas corpus, which is designed to free those who are unlawfully detained.
It was December, because I remember there was snow on the ground, and my phone rang at 2 in the morning maybe, and I answered it, and it was a whisper with my name. I'm like, hello? Ugh. And hearing his voice was like, it was like the best thing ever. And I remember just screaming, like darting into my mom's room, like bawling my eyes out, telling her that it was him. And when we were on the phone, we decided to meet at Starbucks the next morning.
So Angie just got a call from one of David's friends that he's in a Starbucks. I don't know why he didn't call Angie, but I think he might be in here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, oh, can we not, are you sure we, sorry.
What are you guys doing here? I'm not sure if I can talk to you guys.
I think I just want to go home. He didn't call, and when I found him, he didn't want to talk. I really hope that he's been fed a lot of lies, and I really hope that he has no idea how much everybody has been stressing over this and praying over this and like losing sleep over this and like spending so much time on this. I don't think I've ever been this devastated before. And like Mrs. Johnson set up scholarships.
I'm guessing that he probably refused to talk to them because he was there under court order, and he may have been provided some sort of, for lack of better terminology, legal counsel or advice or don't talk. You know,
Threat.
You that's where I'm leaning towards. Is he probably got threatened, but he may have also rightfully gotten legal counsel that he shouldn't talk to anybody until after seeing the judge. You know, so it's not to compromise anything. So there's.
I thought that, but then I was like, wait, why would he do that? Like he's trying to get out. Like,
right? Why would he do that? Well, and he doesn't want to jeopardize his escape, or he's been threatened, or you know, I don't know. I wasn't in his head.
Yeah.
But I can understand their disappointment. You know, and they're being upset.
Yeah, absolutely.
For him and the Wallaces were gonna help him with college, and we were gonna help, and we had all those meetings, and people have done so much, and Kate's gone through hell and back, and like he just, I don't know. Like I want to say that he doesn't know all the things that he does, but I think he knows a good deal. It's like I'm heartbroken, but I'm mad, and I'm like devastated, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm furious. I just.
Things kind of fell apart after this. David wouldn't talk to me. His parents and Escuela Caribe threatened to sue if I continued with the film, and I was forced to put the project on hold indefinitely. My own faith had been totally shaken. I didn't even know if I wanted to call myself a Christian anymore after all the things I'd witnessed. Luckily, a couple years after I graduated, things calmed down, and I was finally able to catch up with Beth and Ty.
Come on in, guys. All right. I think about the Dominican all the time. I talk about it probably.
This is just a heartbreaking story. But that last statement, she didn't know if she could even call herself a Christian anymore.
Or didn't know if she wanted to.
Wanted to, yeah. That breaks my heart too.
And that shows why so many people have stepped away from the faith. Because of the bad behavior of some and how it reflects on them. And I don't want to be a part of that.
And I totally get that, you know, but having that rock solid faith in God, that it will be okay. You know, like the peace that passes all understanding. I want that for everybody.
Yeah.
Like we sang Pass It On Monday, Thursday as we were collecting socks for the homeless. And
right.
Like, I'll shout it from the mountaintops. I want the world to know that God is love.
Right.
God is love.
And I think for me, that's the core takeaway from this story. Empathy wins.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably at least maybe once a week. My coworkers all know about it, my friends all know about it, my family all know about it. I was there 17 months to the day.
Did you graduate down there?
Yes, I graduated high school down there.
When I first got back, it was definitely awkward for me. I had lost a lot of friends. A lot of people didn't really remember me, didn't know where I'd gone or why, and I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't want to say where I went or explain what I'd been through because people wouldn't understand.
Probably one of the worst things down there was the QR. I'm definitely claustrophobic, and so being in a 5x10 room with the doors locked was definitely very frightening. Granted, I wasn't in there all day. A lot of the days, I was either outside scrubbing walls or doing manual work, but that was probably the worst part of my experience.
I still get nightmares.
Yeah, that's such a Scientology RPF program. God, that would break the average human being. You know, it takes a pretty strong willpower to survive that, endure that.
Right.
You know, if it's not, you'd have to have faith in yourself if you didn't have faith in something else. You know.
Nightmares. I still get nightmares about weeks of PICO and, you know, about getting SWATs and about, you know, having to run casitas until I was coughing blood. So I get nightmares about that. I do still think about those things. You can't really forget those things.
Now, when I think about the Dominican, I don't think about the negative. I mean, I might think about all the SWATs that I got because I got a lot. I don't think about necessarily all of the push-ups. I got a lot. I think of all the positive stuff. Sometimes I think of the negative stuff, but it's a part of me, it's part of my experience.
I am angry. I am angry at a lot of the staff members who watched things happen to not only me but other students and not do anything about it and think that it's okay. A lot of it was just so broken and not wanting to be in pain anymore and to have to deal with the punishments.
But I do miss it. I miss like the structure. I like structure. They didn't just walk up to me and pick me out of a crowd and say, bend over, I'm giving you 10 SWATs for no reason. It was because I messed up.
The whole focus there, the whole brainwashing and trying to conform and being forced to be somebody that you're not just because you're different.
So I'm hearing the white girl talking like she's been institutionalized, or she likes that institutional structure to her life. She likes having somebody, you know, that actions have consequences immediately sort of thing. And this other girl, she's like, let me be free, you know? But she's still got a lot to sit with.
It's crazy how they would twist the words of the Bible just to make their selves make what they were doing sound legit.
Other students that went there, whether it was for drug or alcohol, they were already out doing what they wanted. They didn't care. They didn't want help. Whereas me, you know, I wanted the treatment. I wanted the help. We just didn't know what else to do.
I needed to do and I wanted to do whatever I could to get out of there. So if that means saying that I'm born again or whatever they wanted me to do, then I'll do it. If that means I need to sing, then I'll do it. If that means I gotta, you know, run this casita so many times or, you know, take these paddles, I'll do it.
As far as I'm concerned, Escuela Caribe is what saved my life. It definitely hurts me to hear people say negative things about that place because, like I said, it did save my life. But however, I don't know what happened behind closed doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now wow.
Yeah.
That blows me away. I don't know how better to respond than that sound.
Right.
That's, it'd be interesting to sit down and have a conversation with her, or maybe look at a basic psychological profile. You know?
What got me through the whole situation was knowing that at the end of the day, what they were doing was not right. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't, not a day.
Shortly after this, David finally reached out to me again. He explained that the Escuela Caribe staff had told him that if he had had any contact with me, he would be ruining his relationship with his parents forever.
And there's the threat. There's the threat. So yeah, that makes perfect sense for an authoritarian structure like that.
Right.
Holy shit.
Then David told me that he wanted his story to be told, and that he trusted me to help him tell it. So I met him back in Colorado.
You excited to see your Colorado friends?
Yeah, I'm excited, a little nervous. I haven't been home in a while.
The city limit sign said Greeley, an all-American town. I don't know that I'd be so proud to wave that banner these days.
I know.
What made...
I miss getting to be patriotic once in a while.
Yes, so do I. So do I.
I have a swimsuit that I can't wear anymore because it's American flag and it's so cute.
Maybe you can wear it for me sometime.
Did you trust me in the first place to decide that you could give me this letter that could get you in so much trouble?
It really took a leap of faith because it all seemed so perfect when you came to the house. You asked to interview me. I didn't really kind of say, please interview me, please. I didn't, we weren't allowed to do that. And the fact that for my interview, they closed the door and I was in privacy. I'm really excited.
David, how are you doing? Good, great seeing you. Cypress our eyes right there. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Oh.
Cheers, guys. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Things were okay, and I finished out my senior year at West. And
yeah, no, that's cool.
Got to graduate from my high school. That was.
I know.
It was so nice. So.
You gave many of us an opportunity to take up much of what we had been wanting to teach our kids and to believe ourselves was true about the world that we live in.
In some way, you really helped me to become a more understanding and tolerant person without you ever realizing it.
That's the thing. You've changed all of us, and you've changed all of us for the better. And the things that we did, to help you, really helped me. I know, and to grow and to be a better person. That kind of thing. I just really am.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Good to see you! Hi! For the 6 weeks before I came back, the school had prefaced me with the fact that, this film is going to harm everything, and my dad said he hired a lawyer and was ready to, fight everything that had happened. So I don't remember what exactly I said. If it was I don't know if I can talk to you right now, because I was so nervous, surprised, and also just I don't know if I'm gonna get in legal trouble for this because of the action that my dad was ready to take.
It was so overwhelming, and I remember seeing the footage of you being so upset afterwards, and I knew that this wasn't right.
I just immediately got attacked with feelings of what did his parents tell him? And I just had all these thoughts of they told him Angie wants you to be here. She was excited. She hates you. I didn't know what had been said, or if anyone else or if the school was there's this girl and you can't be friends with her ever again. And I was just at that moment I was I'm losing one of my best friends.
love you guys had for me while I was there definitely helped me with all the feelings of rejection and hate from all the staff, even though they called it this other type of love, which is sick.
Ridiculous.
It kept me going.
Like when you think about it and you think about like all the things that you've gone through and then like where you are now.
I just really also want to have something for other kids that have been institutionalized in a similar program anywhere. I've recently learned that there are thousands, hundreds if not thousands of programs like this that are forcing kids to conform and breaking down their mindset, and they're just kids.
I'm just so proud of you. And I know that God is so proud of you.
Thank you.
I just love you so much.
I love you too.
In order to improve the standard of care in this industry, it's important to consistently shed light on the urgent need for reform. Community events are instrumental in that effort. Hopefully, with continued advocacy and increased public awareness, all residential programs will be free of abusive practices. Parents will be empowered to make safe choices for their children, and children will receive the services they need to be healthy. Sincerely, Congressman George Miller, Senior Democrat, California.
And that was read at the Survivors of Institutionalized Abuse Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They told us that, since we're in the Dominican Republic and I know you have rights at 18, you don't have those rights anymore in the DR because, there's some clause in Dominican law saying that, and I was just like, that's not true. That's not true. They told you that? They told me that.
They straight face lied to you.
They straight lied to me, and I said that's not true.
We are at the first historical SIA Convention 2012. So survivors from everywhere flown in for this event, and we made it a whole weekend because there's so much to talk about.
I say this just to let you know that while I can never understand what you've been through, because I've never been in these centers, I do know what it's like to be afraid. Before we get into how to have solutions to some of these horrible things that are going on, I think it's very important to tell your stories.
So one day I go to sleep, and in the middle of the night, 2 men and 1 woman kick down my door. I'm sleeping without clothes on, and they take me. They watch me dress, and they take me in the middle of the night and take me to Julian Youth Academy. They put me on no touch because they questioned my sexuality, and they said I was confused. And I looked the staff member, Tiffany Smith, in the eye, and I said, I'm not confused. I know how I feel, and no matter how many things I say that they did to me, such as getting frostbite and not being allowed to wear gloves, I don't know, getting medically sick that I was throwing up blood every day but not getting medical attention, all kinds of things like this. I could tell you a million things like that, but what the worst part was the emotional feeling. It felt like I was being suffocated for 16 months and 5 days. So I'm here today to hopefully encourage other people who are scared to talk about what happened to them, and just to bring awareness that these are weeds that need to die.
Behavior modification programs for American teenagers worldwide. Worldwide.
Wow. Which makes me wonder about that place that Lydia was at.
Right? For sure. Well, there was one when they were down there in southwest Missouri that she stayed in that ended up getting hit with a class action lawsuit for abusive behaviors of the whole variety. But, yeah. This is I wish more people were more aware of these things, and why I'm so enraged. Yeah, this is me enraged. Holy cow! There's one way out there in the South Pacific on one of those little atoll islands. Oh man. I'm vaguely familiar with that geographic region because of conspiracy theories I've run down, and using Google Earth to do it. That was an area that we were always curious about. There's islands down there that were used during World War II by the United States as forward control points or forward launch points. There's some of them where the structures and runways are all gone, except for like shadows of the foundations and whatever's left of the pavement that hasn't weathered away since the 1940s.
Wow.
But yeah, that's crazy. None of these programs are subject to federal regulation. Most are not monitored by any government agency.
Oh my God.
See, yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that need to be changed.
By attending SIA, Survivors of Institutional Abuse, I feel that there is not just one facility or team program that is like the one that I was locked in, but many. And it's very scary because I thought, just like many survivors, that mine was the only one and I need to do something about it because this is unheard of. I can't believe this is happening.
There's no way that you can count them because there's no government regulation.
You can count them.
In the 1970s, at least 157 American teenagers have died in behavior modification programs. That's an at least. Forbes magazine estimates that the troubled teen industry is worth over $2 billion. Now bear in mind, that's since 2012. And then what do you think that's going to do to that particular market with that most recent Supreme Court decision around conversion therapy? This reminds me of the whole Kids for Cash thing.
Sometimes I despair for our world.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
That's why I'm glad you do your work. All this poison that you have to ingest out there to let people know what's out there, and I appreciate that, but like I respect it a lot more because I am so emotionally drained. I am going to smoke a bowl and take a nap. And I am so glad that I get to just make music all the time.
Yeah, after this, I'm going to smoke a bowl and engage in some music.
Yes.
That's how I do my thing. But yes, I'm glad I have you as my candle to chase away and balance this toxicity I handle.
I'm going to try to be more patient with you in the evenings when I come home, because, man, that's hard stuff.
Yeah, I do.
No wonder you need some, like, emotional time, with me. You need to talk things over.
Right.
Be with me. Like, I understand that more now.
And why sometimes I just get overwhelmed and just kind of like have a mini meltdown.
Yeah.
And just sometimes all it takes is a hug and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're always willing to give me that.
Next time you gripe at me for something like minor, then grumble about it, I'm just going to give you more grace.
I appreciate that, sweetheart. I really do. Let's see, how much time do we have left on this? Because we're almost done. Looks like maybe 7 minutes. I
thought they were rolling credits.
They're wrapping it up, but I like David's final words.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, this kind of thing I knew went on in North Korea. I knew it went on in the former Soviet Union. I was shocked to see that right here in the United States of America, good old American kids who've done nothing wrong are getting tortured, sexually abused, and a lot of times, unfortunately, because their parents are tricked into sending these kids to these places,
I remember being in New Bethany and wondering if anyone cared, if anyone knew where I was, if anyone was ever going to find me or any of the rest of us, or was this what was going to be the rest of my life? And yesterday, when I was amongst all of these people, it occurred to me that there's a child, many, many children right now, all across the country, wishing that same thing and wondering that same thing and hoping that someone is going to come and save them. And they don't even know at all that we're all here, and we are all here for the same cause, and we are all here trying to save their lives.
They've got their community. They made it for themselves.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take for all of us to
absolutely.
find our community and build them.
That's right.
The Stop Abuse in Residential Programs for Teens Act has been introduced in Congress by Representative George Miller 4 times, but it's not yet become law. I might want to investigate that, but I have doubts that it ever became a law. Not that it would really matter. Anyway, yeah.
It's been 5.5 years, and I'm just, coming to my parents about this and telling them that I feel like it wasn't okay that I got sent away. It took me that long, and this is just the beginning to this healing process in understanding. And it's gonna take a while.
Trust betrayal is a special trauma of its own.
Yes, it is.
Do I call myself a Christian? No, because today being a Christian means so many different things.
So what do you believe in now?
What do I believe in now? I believe in love.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Right? In the end, after all of that.
After all of that. Not even being able to believe in God anymore, but believing in love.
Yeah.
That's how powerful love is.
Exactly. January 2012, New Horizons Youth Ministries and Escuela Caribe shut their doors. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. And, because it looks like they're getting ready to just roll credits out. Oh, nope.
Trying to save prodigals. There's a real struggle in my spirit about doing that. Because if you look at the story of the prodigal son, the prodigal didn't get saved until he decided to make a change. So are we just beating our heads against the wall by trying to change kids that are prodigals? Good question. I guess that's for a discussion for another day and another time, because we're doing it. So I don't want to really question that right now.
And he doesn't want to question his current actions because it's making him a lot of money.
Yeah.
We can kick that can down the road and figure it out later.
Right, exactly.
I hope he was held accountable.
Yeah.
The property in the Dominican Republic was donated to Lifeline Youth and Family Services. They renamed Escuela Caribe Crosswinds.
Are they any better?
I don't know. I don't know. Sounds like a good follow-up story.
Yeah.
They were living in hell. What we were doing was wrong. It did not help them. And we need to answer for that. Somebody's got to answer for that.
That just happens way too often when they pass off stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kat, you've made things a little bit difficult for me because, like, you decided you wanted to sit on my mouse. At least you didn't try to eat it, right?
Right.
All right, so let's go back over here. I'll put the raw link to that in the description, folks. If you want the commentary free version, or yeah. I would be happy if you shared my version because I thought Amy had some really good insights, and I appreciate that she appreciates the darkness that I handle on such a regular basis a little bit more. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being able to make it all the way through.
Thank you.
I know that last 20 minutes was exhausting.
Yes, that was all very emotionally exhausting.
Yes, but I appreciate you being the trooper that you've been and hanging tough to the end.
But I just want to get that message out that God is love and He loves you no matter how you are, no matter who you are.
Yep. All right, folks. Well, if you made it to the end, I am really happy about that. That tells me that you're definitely looking for true information. But tell you what, till the next video, which will be when I get it made, I guess. Take care of yourself so you can take care of each other. Get the rest you need. Track those fluids, and please remember, mental health matters.